Bam! Hi, everybody. This is Rayceen Pendarvis, and I'm here with
Anthony Lorenzo Green, a candidate for Ward 7 DC Council, and also serve as Advisory Neighborhood Commissioner in Deanwood Community.
How about that? A young man who's running, already has an office, and fighting for change. So why now?
Well, I feel that for many people who come from my end of Ward 7, and so many working class families, we do need a voice on the council that speaks to the issues that actually affect our lives. And I feel that a lot of times we have leaders who come from a certain narrative, I'll put it like that, who seem to not make the connections to working folks. So I'll definitely want to make sure that we're elevating the voices of people who feel like they're not being heard at all. And really, in this race, make a point that as long as that we are dedicated and committed to uplifting the lives of working families, we will build connections and bridges in our community that will better the lives of everyone.
And that's so important. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, where are you from and where did you go to school?
Well, I was born and raised here in Washington, D.C. I grew up in the Deanwood community, which is one of the oldest consistently African-American communities in the city. I went to elementary school at Merritt Elementary, which is now 6D Police Station, and also went to the Tower Power at the time, H.D. Woodson Senior High School. I am one of those people who came up in DC public schools and found myself dropping out of DC public schools. I dropped out in the 12th grade, and thankfully I had a teacher who was committed to me and drafted a plan for my life. He was like, "You're very smart, and what I don't want you to do is get lost in the system that I'm seeing a lot from other students." And unfortunately, we see you play it out today. So he made sure I got my GED the next year, and I went straight into the workforce. From there, started out at the National Business Travel Association as a Global Relations and Programs Coordinator, which is now the Global Business Travel Association. And from there, I started a career in the Department of Employment Services, working in the unemployment office as an unemployment claims examiner. And with that work, did that for 4 years under former Mayor Gray and now Mayor Bowser. That work really taught me a lot about how it's important for public officials who do live a life of being a public servant, trying to make sure that we are making the real connections to people who need it the most. Because in Ward 7, where 50% of the residents have the highest education attainment of a high school diploma or GED, it's very important that we are making sure that the programs that we're pushing out to our community, the training programs, and making sure that benefits that people are eligible for and due to because of the work they've been doing in the city, we're making sure that we're making those connections, making sure that government works for folks.
How about that?
Yeah.
And I can feel your passion.
Oh, yeah.
And I know, as someone who's been a former ANC commissioner, I know the level of dedication, what it takes like, and what it feels like to be from the grassroots level and then to want to go further.
And that benefited me in my work with the government because everyone knew that, oh, that's the ANC commissioner in DOES. So it was sort of like, not only am I trying to make connections within government, but once I left the building, I was still on the clock.
How about that? And it never, you know, to be in service is one of the greatest gifts. To just say that I want to step up and to serve, and to be dedicated, and to move forth, and then to say I want to run. I want to become another elected official, and I want to fight again for change. Yes. So thank you for serving as an ANC commissioner. Thank you for having vision. And you talk about many topics that you discussed. And there are always that those who are watching would like to say, well, if he's elected, or if he gets into office, what will be the 3 points that speak to me? Or, that how does he make a change for me? So what would be those 3 key points for you?
Well, I say it's the same thing that I hear every day because I've been serving as an ANC for 6 to 7 years now. And a lot of times people have come up to me and been very direct because folks from outside of town, they're very blunt and they would tell it like it is. And they'll say, I need housing. Not just a roof over my head, but I need to be able to pay the bills. I need to make fair wages because we have a lot of folks who work in retail or may work at a fast food place or may work as a security guard or a parking attendant or a server, and they're realizing that the 40 hours they're putting in every week is not adding up to the bills. It's not paying the bills. So we have a lot of folks who are paying a lot in rent or trying to keep hold of their property and realizing that they're not making enough to hold it. And the third thing, of course, for me, is making sure that government works for everybody, making sure that the programs are actually beneficial or measured, to sure that the success rate is actually there. Because one thing we'll talk about a very popular program, but another thing we'll say, why does a person have to go through it 3-4 times? Or maybe a 5th time just to get an opportunity.
How about that? And
Yeah.
so important. Once again, we speak to folks who would like to contribute to your campaign or want to follow you. How can we do that?
Sure. Well, everyone follows my social media, but I'll tell you, you can definitely follow the campaign at Green for Ward 7 on Twitter, or you can look us up on Facebook at Green for Ward 7. And we're also on Instagram as well, Green for Ward 7. We make it simple for everyone. But there are a lot of people who follow my personal Twitter account, which is Lorenzo ANC7C04. You can also follow that as well.
And how about that? And thank you all for watching.